Chapter 12, Family History. Gabriel and Castor slump beside you, haggard as they struggle against the silver shackles, anchoring them to the wall. But when you look around for your mother... Where's my mom? What did you do to her? Oh, she's perfectly fine, though I can't say the same for you. Lennox taps the crossbow bolt against his leg. All traces of the jolly forest ranger are gone, replaced with the sneer of a combat-hardened killer. I don't expect to see you so soon, but I suppose after your first blunder I should have guessed you weren't very good at keeping your cover. Slowly, he slides the tip of the bolt beneath your chin, the pain of the silver forcing you to look up into his cruel, narrowed eyes. But then monsters aren't known for self-control. I'll just shut my mouth. A growl rumbles in your chest, but you bite your lip and channel your rage into cold, stony glare. His eyebrows quirk up in amusement, and he chuckles. Oh, so you can hold your tongue. Well, that won't last long. I'll have you all screaming in no time. We'll see about that. You press the silver tip harder into your chin, and you cry out as it punctures your skin. Gabriel and Cass struggle at the sound of your cry, jolted back to full awareness and yanking frantically at their shackles. Lennox, stop. Get your damn hands off of her, or you're what? Are you enjoying the chains? The 98% pure silver, so I suspect the pain is quite intense. And it is. The skin beneath your shackles is red, raw, and though the silver antibodies make it manageable, you know that soon it's going to be excruciating. I just have to hold out a little longer. Now, enough with the pleasantries. I have some questions. No, you're answering my questions. I want to know who you really are. Oh, I'm so glad you asked. He casts a quick look at Gabriel and flourishes his hand and bows in an excessive mockery of politeness. Lennox Aldahar, at your service. What? Aldahard? No way. Gabriel lunges at Lennox's skin sizzling as the silver chains yank taut and dig into his wrists. You're a liar, a goddamn liar. Is that any way to talk to a long-lost cousin? I'm hurt, Gabriel. Besides, the mocking tone disappears. He narrows his eyes and pins Gabriel with a sneer of contempt and spits on the ground at his feet. Do you think I'd admit to having a blood-sucking monster in my family if it wasn't true? You know nothing about him. I know that Gabriel Aldahar shouldn't be a teenager. Tell me, cousin, how many humans have you killed to maintain that demonic form? Demonic? You've got us chained in a dungeon. And you murdered that vampire we found in the woods. And who knows how many more. The only demon in this room is you. Slaughtering innocent vampires is your entire job, so don't go calling us monsters, you sick freak. A job? It isn't a job. It's a calling. Each hunter is called to sacrifice in the name of the greater good, something you bloodsuckers would never understand. What do you know of sacrifice? I know I've given up comfort and family to save the human race from unholy creatures like you. And I gave up my humanity to save my grandmother's life. He pauses, almost imperceptibly startled, and for a moment you harbor hope that Gabriel's confession has gone through to him. But then he sneers and slices his hand through the air dismissively. Oh, enough of this nonsense. I have plans to make, but before I have your covens eradicated, I'll be sure to tell them you said goodbye. He turns dramatically on his heel and strides towards the door. Cass lets out a shout of mocking laughter. Look at him run. Of course, the big, strong vampire hunter's still scared, even though the monsters are in handcuffs. Lennox tenses, stopping partway to the door to visibly regain himself. He shoots a smirk over his shoulder, though you see the rage in his eyes. It can't be considered running when there are no threats in the room. All I see are 3 defanged whelps, one of them an embarrassment to the Aldahar family name. You hear the pride in his voice, the vindictive pleasure he takes taunting Gabriel, and you wonder, If I goad him enough, I bet I can get him to talk about his family. Maybe I can get more answers for Gabriel. Diamond choice. Like all arrogant bastards, they can't stand not having the last word. Nothing left to say, I didn't think so. And with a sneer, he turns his back to you and reaches for the door, but you stop him in his tracks with a furious shout. Hey, Lennox. I don't believe you're related to Gabriel. He's actually kind, brave, good. Actually good, but you're nothing but a heartless killer who feeds on cruelty and pain. Who could someone like Gabriel be related to a monster like you? Lennox spins to face you, his expression a mask of rage, and he practically spits out his words. The only monsters here are you, monsters who feed on blood of humans. He shoots a look of contempt at Gabriel, who glares defiantly back. As much as I wish otherwise, it is unfortunately true we are related. Prove it. Your grandmother, her name was Sarah Aldahar, wasn't it? What? How do you get her name out of your mouth? Okay, Will Smith, calm down. Why should I? She was my cousin, my great-grandfather's first cousin, to be precise, and rather fittingly, her father was the first Aldahar to betray the Hunter cause. What are you talking about? Oh, you don't know the story. I suspect Sarah herself didn't either. She was quite young at the time. The rift began when her father, Arthur, announced his intention to leave the Hunter life behind. But his brother, Malachi, my ancestor, knew there was no escaping the family legacy. That is enough, Malachi. The arrangements have been made. We leave tonight. And what of your oath? Like our father, his father before him, he swore to defend humanity from the vampire plague. And how many Aldahars have been lost to this legacy of ours? No more. It's too dangerous. My family's precious to me, and I will not condemn them to a life of perpetual bloodshed. But are you and Uncle Malachi shouting? Sarah, my dear, you should be helping your mother with the packing. Go on, run, child. If you leave, Arthur, I promise you will regret it. You and your children will be branded cowards, your names stricken from the Aldahar family tree. Well, if that's the price of keeping them safe, then it is one I am more than willing to pay. And that night, Arthur and his family disappeared, never to be heard from again. He swings his dark gaze back to Gabriel, one more than suspicion. It was belatedly discovered that Arthur took the bulk of the Aldahar weapons with him. Good for him. I don't even want to know where they went. That sounds like Arthur was the decent one of the bunch. He knew he had to get out of the Viper Pit, so he went ahead and did it. He was a traitor. He was protecting his family. He was a hero. It makes perfect sense that Gabriel would be descended from him. Do you know what happened to my grandmother, to Sarah? Gabriel's voice is chillingly quiet. Lennox narrows his eyes, lips quirking in a cruel smirk. Are you going to tell me you saved her like some big, blood-sucking hero? Saving her life is why I'm a bloodsucker to begin with. Even Cass winces as Gabriel's sudden shout rebounds off the stones. Gabriel strains against his silver bonds, but his grimace of pain comes from inward. Malachi was right about one thing. There's no escaping the family legacy. Now, playing as Gabriel. One night, back when I was still a human, I noticed my grandmother was gone. It was long after she told me about vampires, and I had a bad feeling. So I dug through her research on vampires until I found a map and followed it into the woods. That's when I saw the Nexus for the first time, and lying bloodied, barely conscious on the ground. Gabriel, you shouldn't have come. Gran, oh my god, Gran, what happened? What happened is she stuck her nose where it didn't belong. What did you do to her, vampire? Only what your ancestor had done to so many of our kind. An eye for an eye, as they say, or in this case a head. No, don't touch her. If you have to kill somebody, kill me instead. I'm an Aldahar too. Gabriel, you can't. On the contrary, I think that can certainly be arranged, though I'm not sure about the word instead. Now, Astoria, let's not be hasty. What's your name, young Aldahar? Gabriel. Well, Gabriel, the bravery you've displayed here is quite intriguing, if more than a little foolish, and so it happens my coven is down a member. Perhaps we could come to some sort of arrangement. Now, playing as Parker. I struck a deal with him. I chose to return in exchange for them letting her go. I did this for her so she could live. Though you've heard the basics of the story before, learning the details of Gabriel's ultimate sacrifice makes it all the more painful. You see, Lennox, Gabriel gave up everything to save his grandmother. Even though he hated what he'd become, he did it out of love. Lennox takes a step back, clearly affected by the revelation as well. You see a struggle to understand, and you act on it. You see, Lennox, would a monster make that sacrifice? He wasn't yet a monster when he made it. His humanity was wiped away the minute he drank blood and became this. Besides, he never would have needed to sacrifice himself if Arthur hadn't abandoned us. Nor would he have needed to if all vampires had been eliminated like the Aldahars originally intended. But unlike your wretched forefather, my line has never forsaken its duty. We live to eradicate the vampire scourge, and we will prevail. Cass lets out a snort, startling Lennox, who had been focused on Gabriel and you. He seems to have forgotten the other vampire chained up. I have a question. If you and your vampire monster-killing squad are really big and bad, how come nobody's ever heard of you? All offense. But in my coven, vampire hunters are nothing but a bunch of dusty relics, things of the distant past. Ironic. How many centuries have your demonic self plagued this earth? Appreciate the compliment, but you're giving me way too much credit. Now come on, give it up. Where you guys been hiding? We have never hidden. We've simply been hibernating like the great grizzly bear, biding our time, stockpiling weapons, and recruiting others to the cause until we've readied an unbeatable army, strong enough to wipe your entire kind from the face of this earth. We aren't afraid of you. I don't doubt it. You monsters have no real emotions. In just a few more days, and all of our work and sacrifice will have been worth it. Pulls open the door, then turns back with a sly, taunting smile. You know, it really is a shame you're all in here instead of outside enjoying the ley line's protection before it reaches its weakest point. Ah, well, you'll have much more peaceful death here than your brethren in the Crimson Beach. I suppose you could even consider yourselves lucky. And without letting your dredge up a reply, he leaves, the cell door clanging shut behind him. Ugly-ass bastard, slime bag, clown freak, and little punk. But while Cass lets out a stream of insults on one side of it, Gabriel hangs listlessly on the other, head bowed. Gabriel, you know Lennox was just trying to hurt you. I can't believe it. How could I still have family existing in the world? How could my grandma never tell me? How could my only family see me as nothing but a cold-blooded killer, a monster to be destroyed? Gabriel, that guy may be related to you, but he's not your family. Family are the people that love you, like the Clements, like me, Cass. We're your family now. Yeah, screw the forest free. Who want to be family with a smirky little coward like him anyway? You're 100 times better. Oh, that was sweet. It was too much for him. It'd be too much for anyone. I need to change the subject. Guys, Lennox knows about the ley lines, and it sounded like he knows that they protect vampires from sun poisoning. Yeah, and I don't really like what he said about them getting weaker. What does that even mean? Was he just trying to scare us? Or could the Forest Bureau have been messing with the red beech tree this whole time, poisoning the source of the ley lines? That'd be ironic. I don't think it's something they've planned to do themselves. It sounded like something they were going to take advantage of. He glanced back over at Gabriel, who still hasn't lifted his head. The sight of him look so defeated tugs at you painfully. You know, Cass sounds unnerved as she stares into the distance, like she's working something out in her mind. What is a... The way he said it, like the energy of the ley lines wasn't just weak, but getting weaker. Like, it's something that's been happening over time, and... Okay, that might sound crazy, but bear with me. What if it has something to do with my new powers, or whatever getting stronger lately? Are you... admitting you're a witch? Hell no, I'm just saying, if I am, and if I'm unconsciously pulling energy from nature and weakening the ley lines, then maybe I'm the one who's put us all in danger. It's a reach, Cass. Even if you are drawing your power from the ley lines, you aren't strong enough to weaken them. How do you know that? You saying you're an expert now? I'm saying it's not really a logical assumption. Correlation isn't causation. Thanks for the input. Oh wait, I didn't ask. Gabriel, it sounds like you have a theory. You feel a spark of relief as he lifts his head, his brows furrowed in an expression of concentration. I think Lennox was talking about something more scheduled. Something that happens naturally, like a full moon or ocean tides. Or the solstice. The summer solstice is coming up. So, ancient cultures celebrated it as a time of change, when nature or the natural world shifts. Something like that would totally affect the ley lines. But why would it weaken them? Not like it matters. We're chained up in a dungeon with no way to warn the others about any of this. Feeling helpless, you lapse into silence, worrying about your friends in Crimson Beach, your mom, and what's going to happen to you and Gabriel and Cass. The only bright spark in all of this is... if I have to be stuck in a dungeon, at least I'm glad it's with the two of you. Admit it. If Golden Boy wasn't here, it might even be fun, like slightly damp, horribly painful romantic getaway. Damn it, Cass, is it really time for jokes? Who says I was joking? You sounded pretty out of your mind to me. Stuck in the middle, it's impossible to miss the currents of rivalry and jealousy passing between the two of them, despite their haggard faces and burned wrists. It's not like we're going anywhere soon, and neither is the elephant in the room. I know how they both feel about me, and I know how rough it's been for them to let things hang like this. Maybe it's time to clear the air. Diamond choice, again. It's time we hash this out. Actually, maybe we should talk about this. This meaning... this, you, Cass, me, and we all feel. Are you serious here now? What else are we going to talk about? Do you have someplace else you need to be? Point taken. Bachi shoots a look around you at Gabriel, who glowers somberly back. Oh boy. You take a deep breath and launch into the most difficult conversation of your life. Look, I know you both have feelings for me, and I care about both of you a lot, sometimes. Sometimes it feels like my life only really started when I met you. I know a but when I hear it. Cass, quit interrupting. Sorry, geez, genuine expressions of emotion make me itch. I know, and I love that about you. As the shackles jangle as she makes a sudden surprised movement, she gives you a cautious look. You know what? Do you want to hear what else I love about you? Your heart hammers in your chest, and Cass freezes like a startled deer. She swallows heavily. Shoot. I love that you don't waver in your beliefs. I'm not a paradigm of morals and justice. You're thinking of Golden Boy. No, I'm thinking of you. You know what you like, what you think, what you want, and the only one who can change your mind is you. Nothing and no one can push you around. It might rub some people the wrong way, but I'd never want you to change. Even when I'm an ass, even when I was an ass to you because I thought you were a pathetic, weak human. Even then, because you know what it means. It means you let me through your walls. It means you respect me enough to have done that. She scoffs, shakes her head, not denying what you're saying, but seemingly confused. Her eyes slide back to you. Maybe you're the one who brings out the softer side of me. Cass gapes at you, speechless, stunned. She looks like she's trying to come up with some way to respond, but she keeps drawing a blank. She gives her head a slight shake, then redirects her gaze to Gabriel, smirk curling her lips. What do you say to that, golden boy? Sounds like I'm coming up aces. Your chest squeezes at the stoic emptiness on Gabriel's face. I can't say Parker's wrong. What? Even when you're being a jackass, what Parker said about you is true, so I get it. I get why she'd like that about you. His eyes meet yours, a pained resolve within them. So, if that's her choice, I respect it. Hold on a minute. Nobody said anything about making a choice. They didn't? Parker. A bleak look in his eyes turns to hope. You give him a gentle smile. Want to know what I love about you, Gabriel? You don't have to. Of course I do. I love how... nothing takes away your kindness. You've been through so much loss and pain. You felt so alone, but you never let that make you bitter and cruel. So, screw Lennox or anyone else who says you aren't human. You're kind to your core, despite having every reason not to be. Gabriel looks torn, wanting to believe you, but struggling with a deep-rooted doubt. It's not hard being kind to you, though. You've never done anything to hurt me. It's not just me. You're kind to everyone. You're always going out of your way to help people to make sure they're okay, that they're safe. Even knowing how differently you'd be treated by the humans in Crimson Beach, if they knew the truth, you're still good to them. All of them. Your grandmother raised you right. I know she must have been a wonderful person to have such a wonderful grandson. Oh, barf. But as much as I hate to admit it, New Girl isn't telling any lies. What's that mean? I'm saying you aren't absolutely worse to be around, okay? So shut up. She looks at you, tensions in every line of her body. But you gotta throw us a bone here, New Girl. All this stuff you said. What does it mean? You're not choosing both of us. Are you? Hell no, I'm not sharing. Well, I think you've got more room in that heart of yours than you want to admit, Cass. I mean, you let me in. That's you! I just think this relationship between us, all of us, is too important to rush into any decisions. So what are you saying? I'm saying that I can't choose between you. Can't or won't. I'm gonna go with both. I mean, I could if I really was forced to at gunpoint, but otherwise, no. Look, I know this is unfair to you guys, but it is to me too. Why do I have to only want one of you when you both want me? When I want you both. Your confession hangs in the air like a spell waiting to be broken. You half expected it when Cass, who finally speaks up first. Of all the annoying people, why'd it have to be you, Aldahar? Why do you always mess things up for me? You think I like the fact that you're Parker's other choice? All the danger you put her in. I can give her a life, excitement, thrills. If you took your head out of your ass, oh, I can give her a life too. Safety, security, things Parker deserves after everything she's been through. Oh, guys, stop insulting each other. I can't stand hearing you talk to each other like this. It hurts too much. Focus lands on you with twin expressions of alarm. Damn it, new girl, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. I didn't mean... I think the world of both of you, so it tears me up when you rip each other apart. Since the fire between them, cool, but the emotional pain in the room is still palpable. You desperately wish you could reach for them. I hate that I'm putting you in this position, but to me, you're the best people in the world. How am I supposed to choose? It's okay. You can't help how you feel. We'll figure it out. Yeah? You gaze longingly at Gabriel for several heartbeats before turning your head and finding Cass. You see her jealousy, her confusion, and her resolve. One way or another, we're gonna have to. It's obvious neither of us will let you go easily. It isn't quite a truce, but it's close enough. You sag against your binds, exhausted from the emotional exchange. We gonna take a nap now? As day turns into night, the three of you are jolted from your stupors at the sound of jangling keys cutting through the heavy silence. The lock turns. Get ready. Did that bastard just leave us alone? You strain against your bonds, steeling yourself for another go at Lennox, but when the door creaks open, you're shocked to find... Parker! Mom, what are you doing here? Your mom hastily shuts the door and rushes across the dungeon to you. I'm breaking you out. Those idiots didn't consider me a threat, so they left me alone. Mom, this is too dangerous. If they catch you here, they'll lock you up with us or worse. I don't care what they do to me. You think I'm just going to sit around while they hurt my daughter? To hell with that. With shaking hands and tear-filled eyes, she unlocks one of your shackles, tossing it away to gently rub the raw skin beneath. As soon as I saw Lennox capture you, I knew he'd been lying about turning you back into human. He's planning to kill us. Not if I have anything to say about it. She finishes freeing you, then to your surprise moves over to start unlocking Gabriel and Cass. Dr. Reese, what are you doing? What I should have done from the beginning, protecting my daughter and her friends. I'm helping you escape. Damn. Gabriel and Cass sag against the wall as soon as they're free, literally dizzy from the silver poisoning their veins, and your head spins as well. I'll reach for Mom. Gabriel and Cass. I mean, your mom just did save you. You hold out your arms and take a step forward, but your legs give out, weakened by both the silver and stillness. Parker! Your mom catches you before you can hit the ground, helps you back up, but you have to lean against her to stay upright. Mom, we're all still shaky. I don't know if we can do this. If we get caught, promise me you'll run. Listen to me. I broke in here to get you out. That's exactly what's going to happen, even if I have to carry you. Now stop arguing and do what your mother tells you. Go. Yes, ma'am. Leaning on your mom and each other, you limp out of the cell and up the stairs to the ground floor where a guard is laid out unconscious on the floor. What happened to him? I knocked him out and took his keys. Gotta give it to you. For a human, you're a total badass. Now, you know where I get it from. Ha! He's led out of the safe house to once again sneak through the darkness, down the line of tents and past the concrete bunkers. All we gotta do is get to the trees without being seen, and we're home free. We're almost there, let's go. You take your mother's hand as the four of you move as swiftly and silently as possible through the shadows. We're gonna make it. Then the high-pitched wail of an alarm bell echoes across the camp. Your adrenaline spikes, someone shouts, "They're escaping!" Run. Too late. 3 hunters emerge from the shadows of the underbrush, one of them sprinting straight towards you and your mother. You stop right there. Mom, stay behind me. Step in front of your mom and snarl at the hunter, but he just smirks and extends his hand, his finger on the trigger of a shiny metal talisman. Parker, watch out! But before your mom can even finish her warning, a fine spray of silver mist erupts from the talisman, and your insides tighten in panic as the hunter aims it your way. A silver ward talisman. I can't let that mist touch me. I have to protect myself with my silver antibodies. Since the hunter's intention, use my Clement finding techniques. We've already used our silver antibody. I'm just gonna do sense hunter's intentions. With lightning speed, you loop around the hunter, grab him from behind, reaching for the power within you. See what he's planning. You already know. You're outside yourself, watching as the hunter sprays a cloud of silver mist over his shoulder directly in your face. The hunter grins as you collapse, blinded and writhing. Parker, get away from my child! The hunter turns towards your mother and with a snarl of contempt pulls out a wicked-looking knife. You're a traitor to humans and deserve to die. Now playing as Parker. No. You're back in your body with a split-second tact. As the hunter lifts his arm to aim the talisman over his shoulder, you grab his wrist and twist. Bones shatter, talisman falls from his limp grasp, and you hurl him against a tree with a roar. And stay away from my mom. Mom, let's go. Grab your mom's hand and tug her towards the forest, but she screams as something silver shoots out of the trees. A knife. Silver-throwing daggers slice across your arm, and you rub your mom's hand with a howl of pain. Parker! You clutch the wound and whirl to see a woman dart into a nearby copse of trees. Mom, find cover. I have to get to her before she can hurt. Tracker heat signal. Flash up with their outfit spiked gloves. Listen for her heartbeat. Track her with heat. You concentrate on the spot where you last saw her, and your vision overlays with the color spectrum of the heat signature ability. Reveal her to me. Immediately spot the glowing crimson of her form hunched behind a bush. As you near, she stands and aims a crossbow straight at. Cass, don't you dare. You launch yourself over with a scream, tackle her to the ground before she can loose the cannon or crossbow bolt. Cannon too, why not? Another hunter breaks through the trees, then another, their crossbows aimed at your head. Give up, we've got you surrounded. The hell I will. Your funeral. The bolts are released, you dodge one, but it zips past your ear with a high-pitched hum. A second grazes your shoulder, drawing blood. Take the monster down. You dodge bolt after bolt, your moments growing heavy, your desperation quickening your breath. You feel something inside you unravel as you begin to shake. I think I'm going feral. A desperate need to kill consumes you, and as the hunters close in, you have no choice but to give in to your vampire rage. Oh, You smack the crossbow out of his hand, and then grab him by the neck and smash him into the ground beneath you. I'm gonna rip his head off, heart out. They don't have hearts, so, you know. You grab his shoulder, punch your fist through his chest. You give a pull, and his heart comes free from his body in a sickening spray of blood and flesh. Gabriel and Cass crash through the trees just as you fling the heart into the treetops. Holy gore, that's gnarly. Nice one. The smell of human blood wafts up from the body, and your mouth waters, every thought consumed by bloodlust. She's still feral. We have to calm her down. They're at your side in a heartbeat, Gabriel grabbing your face and drawing your eyes to his as Cass watches the trees alert. Parker, you have to snap out of it. We have to get you and your mother out of here, remember? He presses his forehead to yours, his plea brushing against your lips. Come back to me. You squeeze your eyes shut, sucking air hard into your lungs. By the sheer force of will, you pull yourself back from the edge. I can do this. I'm not a monster. There she is. Okay, I'm okay, but where's Mom? I hid her deeper in the forest. Come on, we need to go before... Don't let them escape! Before nothing, we need to go now. You bolt into the woods with Gabriel in the lead, finding your mom at the banks of a flooding river. There's no way across. Worse, you, Gabriel, and Cass are losing steam, and you hear a whole new wave of vampire hunters crashing through the underbrush behind you. Quick, we have to hide. Up that tree, under that log. Because it's your mom. Mom, come on. You take your mom's hand and guide her after you into the crevice beneath a fallen trunk. Gabriel and Cass pull loom over their opening as they follow. Seconds later, the hunters crash into the clearing. Damn it, we lost them. Break into teams, scour the area. You see them, you shoot to kill. Roger. They fan out into the underbrush, leaving you alone, but you feel no relief. Hiding isn't enough. We'll scour these woods until dawn. Which is already happening. We got an hour tops before we lose the cover of darkness. And there's no way we'll get home with sun poisoning, but how do we get away? The river answers you. Its rushing current rising to your ears. As the water level continues to rise, your stomach twists, but you know it's the only way. We're north of town. If we jump into the river, the downstream current should take us towards Crimson Beach. If we don't drown. I don't see any better ideas. Dr. Reese? I can hold on. And I won't let you go. You creep out from underneath the log and hurry to the riverbank. Your mom wraps her arms around your neck, eyeing the water with trepidation. Ready? Ready? You let me drown and I'm kicking your ass out hard. You look to the side and see Gabriel and Cass clasping hands, looking just as nervous and determinedly at rushing water as your mom clings to you. Let's go. With an echoing scream, you leap from the bank, catching air a moment before crashing into the air or water. Rough swirls, eddies of rivers suck you under, and in a matter of seconds you're all tumbling down river with the current to what you hope is safety. Ah, well, that's the end. That was very short and sweet. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description, plenty of things to check out there. Ways to support, like the join and thanks feature on the channel. Other than that, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Like I said, this chapter was a bit short and sweet. So, yeah, no, it's one of those, hey, look, it's over very quick and fast. Anyway, catch y'all later. Peace out.